The air all through Metro Detroit still smoggy because of those Canadian wildfires. Experts warning everyone to avoid strenuous activities. The Fox 2 Weather Authority has the latest track on the smog.
A horrific story in Detroit. A baby dead showing signs of abuse. And a CPS worker now put on leave. What the family of the little girl is saying about the case.
Cops have their hands full looking for brazen bandits who used a truck to smash into a gun shop before stealing several firearms. How this store is connected to the Oxford school shooting, that's coming up.
Working for you. Fox 2 News at 10 starts now.
Our big story tonight, a story that impacts each and every one of us here in Metro Detroit. The air quality still at very unhealthy levels, all because of those wildfires up in Canada.
Today, the air quality index is at 201. For air to be healthy, that number needs to be 50 or lower. And the air quality alert is going to be extended, we're told, until tomorrow.
So will it clear up in time for our holiday plans? Let's get right to the man who knows. Chief Meteorologist Rich Luderman, you've been tracking this, Rich. How's it looking now?
Roop and Taryn, it looks like we will see improving conditions into Thursday night to Friday. But as of 9 o'clock, 201, that is in the very unhealthy category. Things will improve tomorrow, but then especially so on Friday. But notice that 201 is in the very unhealthy category. That's the worst category we have, so we're going to wait until Mother Nature can mix out and change the winds and blow the smoke back off to the east. Here's that air quality alert through tomorrow for all of southeast Michigan. I want to show you the model we use that tracks the smoke. Tomorrow, still areas are going to be affected, but then by Friday, most of the smoke is lifting back off to the east. It is a pleasant evening other than the smoke. 68 for us, 71 in Lansing. We'll get down to 62 on average. And then take a look at what's coming up next. We're going to start to see increasing chances for some storms Thursday night into the weekend. We're going to check that for you coming up in 20. Taryn, back to you.
All right, thanks, Rich. Detroit's air quality was some of the worst you heard in the world this morning, and that's especially dangerous for people living with lung and heart problems, as well as older adults and children. Experts say breathing the air can lead to all sorts of problems. They suggest limiting outdoor activities, but for some industries, that's not always possible.
When you have a decrease in the oxygenation from the haze or the pollution that we have out there, it can really stress your heart. And that stress can lead to heart failure, it can lead to arrhythmias, it can lead to heart attacks.
It doesn't really feel a difference to me. This is all the same. So, I mean, to other people, a bit more sensitive breathing, I would say, yeah, it would be harder for them. But for me and us guys, we're out here every day doing this.
Wearing an N95 mask can also help if you have to be outside.
To another story we're following right now, a brazen robbery in Oxford to tell you about. Crews smash a truck into a gun store, nabbing several firearms.
Fox News' Dave Kinchin is live at the Oakland County Sheriff's Office with the latest on this investigation. And Dave, do they have any leads at this point?
Well, you know, they're being very tight-lipped about this. That we can tell you. We do know there's a lot of surveillance cameras on that gun shop, as you might imagine. So a lot of video that investigators have to work with. The store says they were told not to release any of that to the public at this time as the investigation commences. A truckload of brazenness went into ripping off this gun store in Oxford Township early Tuesday morning. Cops say someone drove a truck straight into Acme Shooting Goods and grabbed several firearms before taking off. It's the same store where James Crumbly, the father of Oxford high school shooter Ethan Crumbly, purchased the gun that was used to kill 4 students and wound several others in November of 2021.
This is the first time I'm hearing of something of this nature. It's a pretty ballsy move to do.
Firearm enthusiast Marvin Montgomery did not expect to hear of such a thing while he was out at a nearby gun range working on his shooting skills. He says crimes like these make you hope for the best in an unfortunate situation.
Of course, we always think the worst because it's not per se in the right hands. But hopefully they do something positive with it, whether it's starting a shooting team or a shooting club.
The Oakland County Sheriff's Office reported an alarm going off inside the gun store early Tuesday. Investigators noticed a gaping hole in the building once they got to the scene and saw that several guns were missing.
I just pray, and I'm sure we all pray, that it doesn't lead to more gun violence.
Acme store management declined to talk on camera and said law enforcement asked them not to publicly share any surveillance video that would show the theft. Police continue to investigate amid fears of where the stolen guns might end up.
Hopefully, again, like I said, everything pans out, and whether those fellas are caught or ladies are caught, or we just don't hear about, anything bad going on, particularly with that product.
That is always that major concern, where those guns will end up. As we said, the Sheriff's Department being very tight-lipped about this, oftentimes to see if there might be any sort of pattern in these kinds of robberies. They do bring in outside agencies like state or federal law enforcement to assist in that case, but we will look forward to seeing what the Sheriff's Department has to say when they're ready to talk about this one. Reporting live in Pontiac, Dave Kinchin, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Dave, starting a shooting club with a bunch of illegal guns, I wish we all shared that optimism that that's as far as this would go. You'd hope, though, the sheriff's deputies aren't far from nabbing these folks. The video should help, whatever it ends up showing.
Yeah, video really should help. We want to point out, too, we did check several other businesses in the area. Some do have surveillance cameras that might be pointed at that front entrance area, although they're going to get back to us tomorrow to see if their cameras might have recorded something. So police may be looking at that, too. It's not just surveillance on the actual business that was robbed, but other agencies and other even traffic cameras that they pick up once they get a lead on that vehicle. That sort of thing goes into this as well.
Yeah, it's hard to do anything without cameras looking at you from any direction in this day and age. Dave Kinchin for us live. Thank you.
We've learned today a supervisor with Child Protective Services has been placed on leave after the suspicious death of a 9-month-old baby girl in Detroit. Kinsley Evans had been in the custody of her father. The family says they had been trying to regain custody since Memorial Day. Family members were called to a local hospital Monday with news that Kinsley was dead. A cause of death is unclear, and no one has been charged, but sources close to the investigation say the infant showed signs of abuse.
When we tried to go get her, he said, "I'm not giving her back to y'all." I screamed for help. I screamed for help over and over. I did it the right way. We did it the right way.
The family says they tried to get CPS involved and petitioned to get Kinsley back, but it was too late. Again, a CPS worker has been placed on leave while the state investigates how this case was handled.
Well, the city of Warren facing a lawsuit over an officer's attack on an inmate. The former officer, Matthew Rodriguez, has been fired following an internal investigation of the incident earlier this month. Now, in that video, Jaquan Smith is knocked to the ground and his head is then slammed on the floor afterward. An attorney for Smith says 2 officers could have stepped in to stop the attack, but they say they didn't.
Here's somebody who has headaches, he has dizziness, he has nausea. He's suffering from every classic sign and symptom from post-concussion syndrome, coupled with the fact that we had the video showing multiple head and facial traumas. They had every opportunity to intervene. They had every chance to stop this from happening.
Warren Police Commissioner Bill Dwyer, though, says the other officers at the scene urged Rodriguez to stop, and it's shown in the video. Smith was taken to the hospital after the incident, but was returned to the jail. He was originally arrested for carjacking.
A big health scare for a pop icon originally from Michigan. Madonna's manager shared on Instagram the 64-year-old came down with a serious bacterial infection and ended up in the ICU. She was hospitalized on Saturday. The good news is she's expected to make a full recovery. She was set to kick off an 84-day tour in mid-July, but the start of that has been postponed. She was supposed to perform at Little Caesars Arena on August 5th.
We're also learning more about the death of former Michigan quarterback Ryan Mallett. Mallett drowned in Destin, Florida yesterday. According to WMBB, the 35-year-old was one of 6 swimmers struggling to get back to shore. Yellow flags were flying, which meant the hazard was considered medium, but officials say there were no rip currents at the time. Mallett played for U of M in 2007 before transferring to Arkansas. He then played in the NFL for the Patriots, Texans, and Ravens before becoming a high school coach.
Members of the LGBTQ community gather in East Point, disappointed a resolution to mark Pride Month did not pass.
The decision by our city council to deny this resolution is a clear indication that we still have a long way to go.
Last month, City Council voted 2-2 on a yearly resolution to mark June as Pride Month, meaning the resolution was not approved. Mayor Monique Owens was not present at the meeting, but had voted no in the past. Supporters of the resolution gathered for a peaceful protest on the anniversary of the Stonewall riots, which happened in New York City back in 1969.
We're just saying, hey, we support the LGBT community, and that's all we're trying to do, and that was voted down.
We cannot live in a world
that denies the existence of any group of people, especially not in East Point, Michigan, the family town.
This was the 5th year the resolution was put forward in East Point, and the first time it failed.
Well, Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan introduces his plan to bring solar farms to city neighborhoods. The mayor provided details tonight at a community meeting. The initiative would take vacant land and use it to house thousands of solar panels, reducing blight and the city's carbon footprint. Neighborhood associations or block clubs can apply. If a neighborhood doesn't have a block club, at least 5 neighbors can come together and apply that way.
And I want to do what I always believe in. I want to leave the decision to the community. I want each community to decide for itself, is this right for us? And if it's not, we're not going to pursue it. It's going to have to be something the community asks for.
An estimated 250 acres of solar panels will be required for the project. Applications will open July 1st and run through October 2nd.
Well, barring something going off the rails at the 11th hour, schools in our state will open on time this fall. Democrats and Republicans came together to pass a record-breaking state budget.
Fox 2's Tim Skubic breaks it all down for us tonight.
The $24.3 billion school aid budget won strong support in the Senate on a 29-8 vote. And then more than enough Republicans voted for what they call immediate effect. In effect, sending the budgets and the monies to the Michigan schools now and not later on. Sending the budget to the Michigan House, where Democrats do have the votes tonight to approve this proposal, but they have not finalized it at this read. The budget also includes $9,700 for every school kid in the state, public school children, $160 million for a free breakfast and lunch program for those same students, regardless of their family income. And lawmakers took note that COVID produced some learning losses during the pandemic, and there's money in this budget for individual tutoring and mental health services to get those kids back on track. Educators from top to bottom applauded the legislative action, praising both parties for getting this done in time for local school boards to get their budgets done by July 1st. As for Governor Gretchen Whitmer, you can bet she'll sign this school aid bill because it's a record and she wants this on her record. As for the lawmakers, when they're done, they head out for summer recess. In Lansing, Tim Skubic, Fox 2 News.